Hello there.
Hey there, how you doing?
I'm doing great, especially because I got to see your movie and it is fantastic. And
Thank
now I feel enlightened and wise and smart and hip to the scene.
It's like Neo in The Matrix. I know Kung Fu.
Exactly. Like I was passively aware. I knew some of the singles, but I wasn't like deep into it. And I just spent, every subway ride of the last, week and a half just devouring everything on Spotify.
Oh, that's great. That's exactly that's my, I mean, that's to me is like a success is that if somebody watches the documentary and then starts listening to Sparks, then my work here is done.
I understand that that is a big part of why you made the movie, but I was wondering, if when you were a boy or a teen or whenever you, started to really get into them, that, you hit a brick wall in terms of just personal information looking to unravel that mystique. And was that the entire reason you became a filmmaker was just to do this?
Well, I wouldn't say that that's necessarily true. 'Cause I don't think I ever really had any documentary aspirations, particularly more recently in the last kind of like 6 years. So since I got to know Ron Russell, met them in Los Angeles about 6 years ago, then I was so sort of like impressed by their recent career and how like they were going from sort of strength to strength in their like fourth and fifth decade, which is highly, highly unusual. I just started to sort of say aloud to people, wow, why doesn't somebody do a documentary on Sparks? That would be the best music documentary. They're so interesting, they're so influential. To answer the first part of your question, though, in a pre-internet age, it was very difficult to track some of your favorite bands. And Sparks were, for a long time, like a riddle to me because I saw them on TV when I was 5. I happened to have one of their songs on like a KTEL compilation. And that for a long time was all I had to go on because if you're live in a small town and your local record store doesn't have any Sparks albums and they're not on the TV and the radio and there are no books in the library that have anything about Sparks or like the magazines that come to your local newsagent don't like cover them, then it's really, you just kind of wait until a band like that comes back into your kind of field of vision, really. And so Sparks are a band that kept coming back into my life in different sort of guises and with different sounds. So I think in a weird way, one of the sort of like, there's lots of pluses and minuses about the internet and streaming. But one thing I think for Sparks is it maybe created a sense of like what the fan base was across the world for Sparks. And also, I think maybe kids these days who like listen to Spotify don't realize how lucky they are to have an entire discography at their fingertips, because that wasn't the case when I was growing up. And so that was part of the thing, is I felt like they were a conundrum to me for a long time, and so the idea of telling their story was exciting.
Sure. In working on the film, did you develop an appreciation for any song or record or even entire period that you had kind of, if not overlooked, at least not appreciated as deeply as maybe you do now?
Yeah, I mean, there are some whole like sections of their work that were not like a big deal in the UK at all. So the new wave albums, Womp That Sucker and Angst in My Pants and In Outer Space, did not register in the UK at all. So I was less au fait with those ones. And then I really started to enjoy them. And particularly like Angst in My Pants is like now one of my favorite Sparks albums. And then other albums that I didn't really know as well, but that I've come to really love, like the first Sparks album, which I didn't know quite as well as some of the others. That was originally Half Nelson and then Sparks. And the other one that I've grown a real appreciation for, which is Introducing Sparks, which is like the 1977 album, like kind of like their power pop sort of album. And that was one that like, there are some songs on that I just, in a similar way, when you become a fan, you want to grab somebody on the street and say, listen to this song Goofing Off from Introducing Sparks. It's amazing. So that's the thing, is that what's great is that the discography is kind of like a gift that keeps on giving.
Sure. Well, thank you so much. The movie is fantastic. I'm such a huge fan of everything now.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so much.